I don't crochet like for like 40-50 hours at a time so that you can treat my cardigans like a bed. Did you push that off the chair and lie on it? You're so naughty. Hello fellow yarn lovers, welcome back to my craft room. Today's tutorial is going to be this basket weave cardigan. I'm going to put it on a coat hanger and I'm going to show you its back, because if I stand back you're not going to see all of its glory. So let me just put this on a hanger and we're going to talk about this. So here's the front, if you have a look. So I chose just to do like a basic edge. I didn't want to do like any fancy ribbon because I thought that this, I just stopped myself here. I thought that really complemented it. But if you want to do ribbon for this, I do have this tutorial for this waffle stitch one, and you can see the ribbon in that one would actually go nice on this. I just wanted, because it's summertime when I've made this, and it's it's like up and down the temperature here, so I just wanted to have like a bit of a basic neck on there, like a basic ribbing all the way around, but that's not to say I couldn't add any more on this, because this took like maybe 8 times 100 gram balls of the Nacko. So this, if you haven't seen my turkey vlog already, this is the yarn that I've used. It's Nacko Luxe Minos, and it's so soft. This I can't remember the exact price. I think it was 50 Turkish liras per ball, which is like maybe £1.25-ish, and I don't know what the exchange rate is now. That's what it cost me then. So this stuff is 336 meters, which is like, if you just add 10% on, so like 360 yards, I'm guessing. But yeah, so I got this in Turkey, and I believe in my Turkey yarn haul I said that if I make myself a cardigan from this, it's going to have cost £12. So like, this is literally like, look at it, it's so pretty. I'll show you the back. So this whole cardigan has cost me £12. Like, wow. And I did, alright, so for the cuff, I just did like a basic kind of like cuff on there. I didn't do it the same way as I did this cuff here. So if you want to compare the cuffs, that's my what's this? That's my waffle. I'm getting confused now. This is my waffle cuff, and this is a bit more of a relaxed cuff. So they're done 2 different ways. So if you wanted to add that cuff to this one, you can follow the one off that video, which is linked in the description down below. Or if you just want to, even if you want to do this cuff on that one, it would kind of work. So yeah, that's the cuff I did. And then looking at the back, so I'm going to talk you through what I did to seam it up. I actually seamed it up before I extended it, so I'll talk you through how to extend it once you've seamed it up. However, if you want to like make like the 2 halves as long as you want first, yeah, just keep an eye on your row counts when you do that. But if you wanted to like make them as long as you want before you seam it up, like, you can absolutely do that. And then, you would just like put your ribbon around it, etc. So yeah, there's more than one way to do this. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna throw you into the tutorial and just let you know how I did it. So off you go. Alright, so for this tutorial we will be using Nacko Luxe Minos. I don't know if I've said that right, however that's the yarn I'm using. This is what I bought in Istanbul, Turkey, which is on my Turkey vlog. If you've not seen it, go and check it out. I had so much fun. And like, honestly, yarn land in Istanbul, it's, oh my god, yeah, you have to go there once in your lifetime. Go to the yarn land in Istanbul. It's fabulous. Anyway, right, 336 meters per ball. I believe I paid 50 Turkish lira for this, which is roughly about £1.30. So when I googled it online, it's like 2-3 quid in the UK. So basically, with 10 of these, I saved myself roughly like 20 odd quid. So that's what I'm using. It's nice and soft. It's quite a light DK, so if you look at it like at the size of my hand, it's quite like a thin light DK. So if I just grab, I was doing another project, if I grab Stylecraft, you can see Stylecraft Special DK. I think this is the colour Cloud Blue. This is for another project, you'll love it. It's slightly thicker than this, okay, but it's perfect because this stitch will be nice and thick, as you've seen, as I'm flaunting this new cardigan in the beginning of the video, which currently I am now past me. I don't know what that looks like. Hopefully it's lovely. But yeah, so that's what we're using for this. You can use whatever you want, like just use anything. Just be mindful, if you're going to use something thick, it's going to work up quicker. If you're going to use something thinner, patience is a virtue. So let's get on with it. Let me just grab my hook. I will be using my trusty 5mm, which has escaped me. Let me just grab it. Right, so with a slip knot on your hook, make your slip knot however which way you make your slip knot, not too tight. As I've said in previous videos, I despise middle rings. I don't use middle rings. So if you want to use a middle ring, go right ahead. I'm not going to. I'm going to chain 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then go back into the first chain. There it is. I think I did it quite tight. And then pull your yarn through like that, and then you'll have this little ring here which you're going to work into. Right, so once you've got this little ring here, the first thing you're going to do is chain 3. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to yarn over and you're going to make another double crochet into that little circle there. Okay, this is a side, so you're going to want to make a corner, so we're going to need 6 sides and 6 corners. So there's 2 double crochet and a corner, so we need 6 of them. And crochet over your tail. Have a nice long tail so you can wind it round and round, or, you know, get your needle and then sew it round and round so your pitch doesn't pop open. Okay, so we need 2 double crochet into the middle there, crocheting over your tail. So there's 1, grab it. There's 2, so now we have 2 sides. We need another corner. Okay, we're going to make 3 more sets of double crochets, like 2 double crochets, and then chain 2. So here's my third side, 2 double crochet, and then chain 2. Here's my fourth side. So if I was making like a granny square, a basket weave granny square, or like a blanket that was just going to be a square, and, you know, like just keep going on and on with a square, I would stop at 4 sides. So this is 4 sides and 4 corners, which if you slip stitched it there, you'd have the makings of the basket weave granny square, which is another tutorial I will put up. But I've literally got about, like, honestly, about 5 cardigans in my head I need to get out before I make this blanket. So it might be a couple of weeks before I get it out. However, a blanket in basket weave in the round is coming, or in the square. Anyway, right, so we need 2 more sides. I've already chained 2 for that corner. So yarn over, 2 double crochet, chain 2, and then, so that's 5. That's a pentagon. Don't stop there. You need 1 more side. Yarn over, 2 double crochet. Hang on, I didn't yarn over. There we go. Yarn over, 2 double crochet, and you do not forget to chain 2. You need this corner. Chain 2. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets of 2 double crochet, and we've got 6 lots of chain 2 for the corners. So slip stitch into the third chain of your starting chain 3. And then you've got a little baby hexagon. You don't need to pull the tail like to close the ear or anything, because you can do that a bit later. So, right, we're going to start with the pattern. Now, you need to pay attention with this pattern, because as I've been working up this pattern, I've made mistakes and I've had to frog. So with having made mistakes and having to frog, you do have to kind of be aware. So like, no crocheting at 1 AM when you think, oh, I'll just do 1 more round. Like, be aware when you're doing this, okay? So it's one of those where, I mean, obviously if you're an experienced crocheter, then, you know, you're probably not going to make as many mistakes. Even though I've been crocheting for 2 years, I know what I'm doing with this pattern. I would say I can do it in my sleep, but I can't, because I'll make mistakes. I have to keep frogging them. So just like, be mindful that mistakes can be made, and it's a bit hard to try and rectify them, especially if you're on the next row and you're like 20 odd rows in. So keep your wits about you with this pattern. It's a trickster. Anyway, right, so when you're at this stage, you want to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this side will be like, so we're going to call this one, this is side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4, side 5, and side 6. Side 1, side 3, and side 5 will be identical to each other, and then side 2, side 4, and side 6 will be identical to each other. So for example, sides 1 and 2 are going to be opposites of each other. So whatever you do to side 1, you're doing the opposite for side 2, and that's the same for 3, 4, and 5, 6. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So we've chained 3. This belongs to side 1, and you can make a front post double crochet in both the double crochets that you've got on that side. So here's my first front post double crochet. Here's my second front post double crochet, and we've arrived back at the corner. I'm going to explain corners once I've got this round done, okay, because it's easier to show than it is to tell. So in this corner you want a double crochet and then chain 2 and then a double crochet. That second double crochet belongs to side 2. Now side 2 is the opposite of side 1, where we did 2 front post double crochets. So for this side you need to make 2 back post double crochets into the 2 stitches that are there. Hang on, I'm just tangling myself up. Yarn over, get behind the double crochet, pull your yarn through. Honestly, back post double crochets are like, I hate them so much, but they look good. So I'll do it again. Yarn over, make sure you keep a hold of the yarn over, it can slip out. Go behind the post, grab your yarn, pull it through, and then pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, you've just made 2 back posts. So for the corner you're going to double crochet, chain 2, and then yarn over, double crochet. Okay, and now this is side 3, which is identical to side 1, so these will be 2 front post double crochets here. So you're going to yarn over, front post double crochet, front post double crochet. Okay, back to the corner, normal double crochet, chain 2, yarn over, normal double crochet. So this is side 4 that we're on to. So again, side 4 is the same as side 2, which is the polar opposite to side 1. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to back post in these 2. So there's 1 back post double crochet, and this one's a back post double crochet. Into the corner, 1 double crochet, chain 2, and another double crochet. If it'll get through, there we go. Side 5 is the same as side 1 and side 3. So we're going to yarn over, 2 front post double crochets. Okay, so 2 front posts. Now we're back in the corner, which is 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 double crochet. Okay, and then side 6 is going to be the opposite, like, so you'll get like front post, back post, front post, back post, front post. So these will be back posts. Yeah, it's the same as side 2 and 4. So it's 2 back posts in here. Just make sure I've done my corner chains. It's really important that you always have the correct number of stitches required in the corners, and I'll talk about that more in a second when we get on to round what round is this? Round 3. So yarn over, we want 2 back posts in here. So back post double crochet, yarn over, back post double crochet. We're in the corner, so you want to do 1 double crochet, chain 2, and that chain 3 at the beginning counts as a double crochet in the corner. So you just want to find the 3rd stitch of it, and you want to slip stitch into that. So if I can get my hook through, there we go. So slip stitch into there. Okay, right, so we're now ready to start the next round, which is round 3. And for this one, so to make sure that the increases for this are correct, it's pretty much, if you've seen my video on the waffle stitch cardigan, it would always have on one row, there would be like a 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. Then the next row we would have 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. And this ratio gives you like a nice shape for your cardigan. If we just kept doing 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet in the corners, the hexagon would extend out and it wouldn't create like the L shape that the cardigan makes when it's like in half, if you know what I mean. So let me just show you an example. I've been working on this guy. This is a future video, you'll see this soon. So you want to make this perfect L shape, okay? If you don't have enough stitches, it just stays as a flat hexagon. And if you have too many stitches, the corners, they go really pointy. So they go really pointy there, and then it kind of has like a U shape for each of the sides, and it's just not nice. So alternate your corners with having 1 double crochet, and then you'd have 2. So I'll show you what I mean. So to continue this, we want to chain 3, and we will so this will get 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, but just chain your 3 and go round and then this corner will be completed as the row is completed. Okay, so this corner is just a little bit different. Anyway, looking at the pattern, so my basket weaves are in sets of 4. So this is one that I'm working on. This is the other side of the cardigan. So what I mean by that is, let me just straighten this guy out. I have to explain this to you because if I just keep talking, then it, you might not know what I mean. So mine, they will always be in clusters of 4. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and they will always change like the post, like crocheting direction on the 4th row. Okay, so we'll do like 4 rows of these guys being front row, and then after 4 rows it switches. Okay, so you'll always just see 1, 2, 3 horizontals. See 1, 2, 3 horizontals. Okay, so as you're working this up, then it becomes like it makes more sense. And just to show you the corners, so this was my round 1, this was my round 2 where I had 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. The next row it's 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and then we went back to 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet, and then this row is a 2, chain 2, and then 1, chain 1, 2, chain 2. So you have to alternate those in order for it to become like a nice shape. Okay, I could have just grabbed this to show you before, but it makes a nice L shape by doing that. Okay, so if you're doing too little stitches in the corner, it just will be flat, and if you're doing too many stitches in the corner, it's gonna look like that, and then the corners like point out, and it doesn't look nice. Okay, so trust me, if you do it the way I'm doing it, it's gonna be okay. So where were we? Start of round 3. So these, I'm trying to get a hold of my yarn here. So these ones, this 4 will be a little cluster of 4. Okay, so we're in groups of 4. So you are going to, because these are front posts, for all 4 of these stitches, this is 4 front post double crochet. So we've chained 3, which is part of the corner, yarn over. The previous chain 3 will become front posted. Okay, the second front post gets front posted again. Third one is a front post double crochet, and the 4th one is a front post double crochet. Okay, and then we've arrived at the corner. So for this row, this is 2 double crochet, 1, 2, chain 2, and then 2 double crochet. So there's one of them, there's the other one. So for these ones, these were back posts, so all 4 of these stitches will be back post double crochets. Okay, so back post number 1, back post, when I'm saying back post, I just mean back post double crochet. So back post number 3, and then back post number 4. Okay, and then you're in the corner, so you need to chain, not chain 2, you need to double crochet twice. So there's 1, 2, and then chain 2, and then 2 double crochet again, 1, 2. Okay, then this is side 3, which is exactly the same as side number 1. So these 4 will all get front post double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we'll add a corner, so you need to do 2 double crochet, 1, 2, chain 2, and then 2 double crochet, 1, 2. Okay, which side is this? This is 1, 2, 3. So now side 4, which is the same as number 2. So you're just basically doing the opposite. Whatever you just did, you'd be doing the opposite. Okay, so 3 sides are the same, the other 3 sides are the same, but they're opposites of each other. So this is exactly what we did for side 2. So we're going to do 4 back post double crochets after the corner is completed. Okay, please make sure your corners are completed. I cannot stress that enough. The amount of time I have spent frogging the other side that I've done for this cardigan is just unreal. Trying to perfect this pattern. Anyway, so there's our 4 back post double crochets. At the corner, you need to do 2 double crochet, 1, 2, chain 2, and then 2 double crochet, 1, 2. Okay, and then these ones are 4 front post double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, at the corner, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2, and 2 double crochets, 1, 2. Okay, last side. So this is 4 back posts here once the corner is complete. So we'll go back post here. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then the starting finishing corner always gets special treatment. So this is a 2 double crochet. So there's 1, 2. We need to chain our 2. Okay, we've already got one of the double crochets from the other side of it there, so you just need 1 more double crochet like that, and then you can slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. Okay, so let me just slip stitch, pull it through, pull it through. Okay, right, we need to get back. So you never ever turn this unless you're confident with how you're doing your front posts and back posts. I never bother turning it. The only time I will turn it is when I need to get back to the corner. So I'll just quickly, this is what I do for every second row, I'll turn it and I will just do 2 little quick slip stitches, 1, 2, to get me back to the corner, and then I'll chain 3 and I'll flip it back the correct way. So that's the only time I ever turn my work. I never work with the wrong side facing me. I will always work on this one with the right side facing me. You can see it's starting to bunch up now. It wants to turn into a cardigan, so we're on the right tracks here. Right, so as I said before, let me just grab the bigger one, because with this being like a more advanced intermediate pattern, it needs a bit more explanation once I get all these ends out of the way so I can explain. Okay, right, so we did round 1, round 2, we've just finished round 3. When you get on to round 4, so like I said, I do these in like clusters of 4. So the explanation is that I'll always work in clusters of 4 here, so you'll have like the 4 front posts here, and then for the correct amount of rows I will switch it up. Okay, so it's every 4 rows I'll switch up, and then whatever was being front posted before will be back posted, and whatever was being back posted before will be front posted, but I'm going to demonstrate that. So it will like turn into this stitch and it will alternate, so you'll see horizontal, 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 and then you can just count whenever you need to change. So let me just get back. I've got like this corally neon-y yarn everywhere, so I'm going to stick my hook back in. So I just chained 3, but they've come out, so I need to do 2 more chains. So once we've chained, got back into the corner, make sure your correct side is facing you. Okay, so on this row, because on the previous row in the corners we did 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochet, so this is one where it's a 1 increase. Okay, so we're just going to chain 3, that's half of that corner's setup. Okay, now like I said, we work in like clusters of 4, so the 4 in the middle are front posts, but the 2 here at the side, you can just, like, you can see them, one's a chain 3 and one is like the other double crochet that we made. These have to be back posts, okay, because we want the pattern to like pop through. Okay, so these 4 in the middle front posts, but these 2 to begin the row are back posts because they are part of a different cluster which will grow as the cardigan grows. Okay, so we're going to back post those 2. Am I in the right place? There we go. So back post that one and that one. Okay, so they will be part of the cluster, like as the cardigan gets bigger, like they will form, the clusters kind of form as you're adding things on in the corners. Okay, so then side 1, we're just going to do the front posts into these 4 here. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, you've got 2 at the side here. These need to be back posts because they're not part of this cluster. So let's back post those 2, 1 and 2. Okay, And for this row, this is, remember, 1 double crochet, chain 2, and then 1 double crochet. You can kind of think of it as on even rows you have to put 1 chain 2 1 in the corner, then on odd rows you have to put 2 chain 2 2 in the corner. Okay, so even rows 1's in the corner, odd rows 2's in the corner. Okay, right, so side 2 is the opposite to side 1, so we're going to begin, so look at the 4 in the middle, they're part of a back post cluster, so the ones at the sides have to be front posts. So yarn over and then front post the 2 at the side, so there's 1 2, and then you want to put a back post into the back post cluster of 4 that we've got. So there's, I hate back posts so much, there's 1, they're so fiddly, 2 3 and 4. Okay, and then these 2 clusters will be front posts, 1 2, and then we're in the corner, which is 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 double crochet. So what you're going to do is you're just going to repeat that 2 more times. So side 1 is exactly the same as side 3 and side 5, and side 2 is exactly the same as side 4 and side 6, and I'll meet you back here to finish this corner. Right, so I'm just getting to the end of the round, so this corner should have 1 double crochet and then chain 2, and then just like the round, like round 2, it's just going to be a slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 that started the round off. Okay, just like that. Okay, so since this was 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet in each corner, the next round will be 2 double crochet. So just start the row off with a chain 3, which counts as one of the double crochets for this side, but like I say, we'll finish this corner off when we get back around. Okay, so you can see here that we've got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 stitches there. Okay, and it's pretty obvious which ones now should be front posts and back posts. So we've got this little group of 3 which belong to a back post cluster. We've got our front posts there, and then we've got our back posts. However, on this one, because I can now see 1 2 3 4 horizontals, it's a switch round. As soon as you can see 4 horizontals, you need to switch up what you were doing. Okay, so what I mean by that is we've chained 3. Now this should be 3 back posts, however it's a switch up round, so these 3 now need to be front posts, and then these ones that were front posts now need to be back posts because it's switching up. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go yarn over, there's a double crochet in that one, yarn over, double crochet into that second one, and yarn over, double crochet into that third one there. I'm going to grab my yarn, it's escaping. Okay, now these 4, these should be back posts, so yarn over. They might be a bit fiddly to grab a hold of, but as you work the cardigan up you'll get used to it. I hate back posts, but I'm doing it for the greater good, which is this pretty cardigan. So second back post, third back post, and fourth back post. Okay, and then these ones which were back posts previously now become a cluster of front posts. So there's the first, there's the second, and there's the third one. Okay, and this round is chain 2 in each corner. So if we look below, we see that there was 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. So this is a corner that needs 2 double crochet, and then chain 2, and then 2 double crochet. So hang on, I've got this yarn is so eager to be part of this cardigan, it's got a bit wild into a knot. Okay, so this is those 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, and then this side, because it's side 2, is just the opposite of side 1, so it's going to be these 3 front posts, and there's my 4 back posts, and there's my 3 front posts there, but we have to do the opposite. So these 3 front posts now become 3 back posts. So there's 1 2. Okay, there's the third back post there. Okay, now these back posts turn into front posts, so we'll do 4 front post double crochet. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then these 3, which would be a cluster of front posts, are now back posts. So yarn over, back post, double crochet into these. Oops, that wasn't a double, that was a single. Back post, double crochet, and then last one, back post, double crochet, and then this corner, same as all the corners on this round, is 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Okay, and then side 3 is just the same as side 1, so we're just doing the opposite. 3 front posts, then 4 back posts, and then 3 front posts. Okay, exactly the same as what we did on the first side. Okay, and then side 4 you're going to do exactly the same as we've just done for side 2. So if you just do the opposite of what was being done on each stitch, remember this row is chain 2, 2 double crochet, chain 2 in each corner, and then I'll meet you back to finish the round. If you can always like skip back a few minutes if you just want to redo, like re-see how I did side 1 and how I did side 5. What I'll do is I will do them on camera, and then I'll just like speed it up and then put like some music, or just so you can watch me doing it, just in case you're a little bit like, what, don't leave me. So I'll put like, it'll either just be quiet if I can't find the music that's free, but I'll do it like 2 or 3 times the speed just so you can see what I'm doing. Right, so I'm just on the last stitch here, okay, of this side. So this is a back post because it's side 6. So there's my back post. So to finish off this round, we need to do 2 double crochet and then chain 2, and then you're just going to place 1 double crochet in, because the chain that you started off the round with, that chain 3, that is where you need to slip stitch into. So let's just slip stitch into here, and it's just going to be the exact same as when we started round 3. If I can get my hook into there. I seem to have pulled it quite tight. I'll just stick it in that one there, if I can get it in. Wow. There. Nope. What is wrong with this today? Right, there we go. It will go in. There we go. Okay, so remember for this one, what I did when I was like on this row here, so there's row 1, 2, on row 3, so like rows 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, etc. This is what I do on odd rows, which are finished with my 2 in the corner. So I'm just going to flip it, and then I just need 2 slip stitches. I'm not in there, I've put it slightly in the wrong place. So 2 slip stitches to get myself back into the corner. Like that. Then I'll chain 3, and then I'll turn my work the correct way around again. Okay, so for this row, because the previous row was 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet in the corners, this will be 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. Okay, like I know I keep repeating myself, but you know, it's for your benefit. So here, right, what you'll notice is, so let's just talk about this round. So I've said we do clusters of 4, okay? So we've just done the round where we're switching over. So this was front posts, and then going forward it'll be back posts, and you'll get those 3 horizontal lines, okay? See how when we cover that 4th one up, because when you can see 4 of them, that's when you need to switch. So the 4th one gets covered, and then it's just 3. I mean, this is how I'm doing my basket weave. If you're doing your basket weave slightly different, then, you know, that's up to you. But if you're following this, that's what you need to look out for. So as soon as you've got the 4th horizontal, it needs to be covered by, like, flipping what you're doing. Okay, right, so for the next round, so you just need to be very careful of this. So remember, we're working in clusters of 4. So these are now 4 back posts, because, like, this is where we are. There will be 4 front posts here, but then there's an extra stitch on here, and that is because we're getting bigger, we're forming more and more clusters. Okay, so just make sure that you have them in their little groups of 4. So the way you'll start off this round, okay, so obviously we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. These are the back posts here, which you'll continue with back posts on those 4. So that means that 1, 2, 3, 4 will be front posts, and then you've got this little one by itself. Okay, that'll be a back post. So if you just pull them apart, that first one you want to yarn over, and you want to back post into the first stitch of that row there. Okay, well, into the first, like, you know, it was a double crochet from the previous round. Okay, but then the next one is part of this little cluster. Okay, and these are front post double crochets. So we're going to do 4 front post double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we'll do 4 back posts. So 1, make sure you're definitely grabbing the stitches from the correct row. Don't be grabbing stitches from previous rows. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 for those back posts. Okay, and then you'll have 4 front posts here. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then it is correct that you've got 1 little stitch by itself, which is a back post, because that's starting like the next clusters. Okay, so that's back post, and then when you obviously, as the next row grows the size, you know, you'll have like 4, and then it'll just keep growing. Okay, right, so remember, we've got chain 2, 2 double crochet in the previous row, so you need to do yarn over, 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet, and side 2 is the opposite of side 1. So we'll look at the clusters here. If you're unsure, start from the middle, okay? Or if it's massive, you know, just start from a few clusters away from the corner. So I can see my 4 front posts in the middle, and then I should have 1, 2, 3, 4 back post double crochets, which means this first one is a front post. Okay, so you're going to front post double crochet into that first one. Okay, the next 4 will be back posts, because they're part of that little cluster there. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then the next lot, it's 4 front posts. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 front posts. Okay, and then you'll have 4 back posts. 1, 2, and my yarn's getting caught on things. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then it is correct for you to have 1 stitch left on this one. Okay, and that one is a front post. So it pretty much, the row, if I adjust my yarn, I've wound it too tightly, so I'm like trying to battle with this yarn. Let's just do the corner stitch and then I'll talk about it. So yarn over, 1 double crochet, chain 2, yarn over, 1 double crochet. Okay, we'll do side 3 in a minute. Okay, let's just talk about these rows. Okay, so just be mindful that you're always working in little clusters of 4. Okay, so if in doubt, look at what you've got going on and then just count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then yes, it is correct that this little guy is by himself. I seem to have assigned a gender to this for whatever reason. So this little guy here is by himself, but then as you grow, because the next row is going to be 2 in the corner and then chain 2 and then 2 double crochet, so then you'll have 3. So if I just grab the bigger one and I'll show you. So we are currently on row, so this is 1, hang on, I always use these bits to count. So we're on row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we've just done 2 sides of row 6. If I find row 6 on here, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're on this row. And looking in my corners here, okay, so you can see that it was right to have 1 by itself, and then the next time, okay, it'll just grow basically. So as it grows, just keep them in little clusters of 4, okay, and you can't go wrong. So I don't know if you want to like screenshot or whatnot, whatever I've got going on here. Okay, it just goes in clusters of 4 this way. And then every time, so if I just show you on row 6 here, so at the minute we've got 1, 2, 3. So the row that we are creating at the moment is giving us our 3rd horizontal. Okay, so it's when we've done row 7, let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so we will do row 7, and then on row 8 we will do a switch up, because row 7 will give us the 4th horizontal, and then it's the next row that gives us the switch up. But don't worry, I'm going to stick with you through it. So we've just done side 1, we've just done side 2. You just want to repeat that. Okay, so it's like, so this here, side 3 is exactly the same as side 1, and then side 4, side 6 exactly the same as side 2. Okay, so if in doubt, just rewind and have a look. I say rewind like I'm in 1990. Just like, you know, go back in the video, see how I did these. I started off with this little back post, then 4 front posts, 4 back posts, 4 front posts, and I'm just working the pattern. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off, hang on, it's looking a bit like a star now. It's because we're on the row where you do 2 in the corners. I'm going to work sides 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then I'm going to meet you at the end of this row so we can finish it off, and then I'll introduce row 7. Right, so here we are finishing off this row. So I've done 1, 2, 3 of those back posts for side 6. Here's my 4th back post, and then it ends on just 1 little individual front post. So there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom you out. As I've pressed the record button again, it's zoomed you right in there. So right, okay, I need to do, so this is the chain 1, sorry, the 1 double crochet, and then chain 2 when my hook doesn't fall out. There we go. And then need to slip stitch into the top of the beginning chain 3, like that. Okay, like that. Okay, and that completes that row. Okay, so this is pretty much how it works out. So I'm going to do, what I'll do is I'll just do the next 2 with you, but like the pattern should kind of become pretty obvious as it gets to this size. So as we start the next round, so this is going to be 2 double crochet, chain 2 in the corners, because obviously we're alternating. I know I keep repeating myself, but I'm emphasizing because that will give you the correct shape if you do that. Okay, right, so always be careful when you start, because this little chain 3 has sometimes it can, you know, clump itself up with any other stitches that are there. Okay, so it's like trying to like be besties with this stitch next to it, but it's like, no, you need to be by yourself. Okay, so, and always just check, if in doubt, like just check from your previous little clusters. So there's my 4 back posts, here's my 4 front post double crochet. So these 2 here, these need to be back posts. Okay, so you'll yarn over by the start of this round and you'll do 2 back post double crochet. So there's 1, there's 2. Okay, and then because we've not reached 4 horizontals yet, we're not switching anything. Okay, so I will just do 4 front post double crochets in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I'll do my 4 back posts into the back post ones. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then we're on to 4 front posts again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and it just mirrors what we've done. Okay, so then we'll do 2 back posts there. There's 1. Make sure you've got your yarn over. Sometimes with back posts you grab your yarn over but then it slips off. Okay, and then this corner is going to be 2 double crochet. 1, 2, chain 2, then 2 double crochet. 1, 2. Okay, and then it's just the opposite of what you've just done. Okay, so it'll start with 2 front post double crochets, if I can yarn over properly. So there's a front post and a front post, and then I'll have 4 back post double crochets, 4 front post, 4 back post, and then 2 front post, and I'll chain 2 double crochet in the corner. And I'm just going to continue, because with the case that I'm not switching like my directions or my post directions on this round, I can just follow what I've got, just keeping to my little groups of 4. So go, like, I'm going to meet you back at the beginning of this round just to finish it off and start the next one. Okay, but it should be pretty obvious of what you need to do here. Okay, because you've got your little groups of 4 going pretty strong now, so you've set everything up here. And it's just a case of following and keeping them in groups of 4 and then switching when you get 4 horizontals. So I will meet you back there in just a second once we've done everything here, or once you've done. Okay, I'm going to do this. This is going to take me 2 minutes, but you're going to see me in 2 seconds. Okay, right, so I am just finishing off this row right now. So my final stitch was a front post in there. Well, actually my final stitch will be 2 double crochet, chain 2. So there's 1, 2, and then 1 double crochet, and then slip stitch into the top of the starting chain 3. And then remember, when it's the 2 double crochet corner rows, flip it, get yourself back into the corner, not too tightly, like you don't need to do it really tight. Okay, if you can even get it, there we go, hang on, there. Okay, and then just chain 3 and then flip it back. Always have the right side facing you. I'm just going to pull up a long loop there. So now this little guy is wanting to, let me zoom you out, wanting to fold up, which is good. Okay, so I'm just going to grab any 2 adjacent corners, and then you should see that it's making a nice little L shape there. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful. Like I say, all you've got to do is make sure, so like the next row that I do would be, let me zoom you in a bit more. The next row that I would do would be a change row. So in every front post I'll do back post, and then in every back post I'll do front posts. Okay, as soon as you see that you've got 4 horizontals, it's time to switch up what you're doing with the posts. Okay, so important things to take away is, obviously if you get to the 4, switch it up, because these should now be front posts and then these should now turn into back posts. Another important thing is alternate the 2s and the 1s in the corner. And then third thing is keep your clusters of 4, okay? So yes, you are extending out this way. So let me just grab the bigger one. So you are extending out this way, okay? But you're just kind of building each little block of 4 gradually, okay? So if you look here, this next little block of 4 here, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, we started off a new block of 4. In the next round, you know, the block of 4 just contained 3, and then in the next round we'll be adding 1 in the corner, and then it will become a complete block, okay? So you're working outwards. So just count where you're at with your blocks of 4 and just make them accordingly, okay? Because if you make a mistake and, like, say for example I made a block of 5, that's going to continue up the cardigan and it's going to throw it off, okay? It might not be the most noticeable thing in the world, but you've just got to keep your wits about you when you're doing this pattern, because yeah, it's intermediate-y, advanced-y, not really beginner friendly, but by all means try it. And that's pretty much what happens. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. I'm going to see you, I'm going to flip the camera. It'll probably be in a few days because I need to make the big side. I need to finish this one off. So I'm going to meet you back for measuring. There might be some more talk about the pattern and stuff, but I think I've pretty much covered everything. So yeah, just heed my words. And just follow what you're doing with the clusters of 4, the chains in the corners, and the switch rows. That's the 3 things to remember. So I'll see you in just a few seconds for sizing advice. Right, okay, so you've just had me flip you around from the craft table. So, but you've had me flip you around from the craft table. It's probably been a hot minute for me. Like, it's probably been about 2 days since I last picked this up. Anyway, right, so this is 25 rows of this. It's probably still a bit small for me, but I'm just going to go with it. So if you are sizing this on yourself, you kind of want to stop. I mean, stop where you want. It's not going to look like bad. It's going to look fab anyway. But I was just a bit of an OCD person, and I kind of stopped when I got to 1, 2, 3, 4, if you can see what I mean. So 4 horizontals. My nails are atrocious, just ignore them. So I stopped when I got to 4 horizontals. You can just keep going with how you want it to look, and obviously you want it to fit you. So I'm going to just pin this, well, not pin it, I'm going to get some stitch markers, and I'm going to show you how you size it. Now I do this for pretty much every video, so if you've seen waffle stitch, if you've seen like Tinkerbell, etc., I pretty much do this for everyone. So let me whack the stitches in. The stitches, bloody hell. Let me whack the stitch markers in, and we'll have a look at this. Right, so I've put stitch markers all the way along, so at the end of the sleeve right there and at the neck. So you want to pop your arm in like this, okay, get it up to your neck. So regardless if you're going to put granny squares or whatnot up the back, or if you're going to, you know, extend it so the 2 sides meet, put the stitch markers all the way to your neck and get it to your neck, okay? So I can see I need to extend my sleeve, and then I'll put a cuff on, which I'm going to show you what you do with that anyway. I need to extend it this way to cover me a little bit more before I put the ribbon on, which means I'm probably going to have to extend it up the back before I put any kind of granny square or whatever. What I'm doing with this is it's just a plain basket weave, okay? So if you're just going with the hexagons, I'm going to show you how to extend any side. Now with the extending of any side, you could extend 2 sides at the same time. You just follow the same principles of extension. Wow, sounds like some kind of university thing. You follow the same kind of principles of extension in the corners. So 1 row, you'll have a 1 stitch, like 1 double crochet, 2 chains, 1 double crochet, and then for the next row you would have your, you know, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. You would follow the same pattern up the corners when you do that, okay? So I'm going to flip the camera around and I'm going to show you how to extend like any side basically. I'm going to extend the sleeve first. I think that'll be the easiest thing to show you. I'm not going to do any decreases on this, but if you wanted to modify the pattern and do decreases like double crochet 2 together or something, you can do that. But I'm just going to get it from here to about where this is, and then I'm going to add a cuff on after that. But let's just get it to there first. I'm going to flip you back round and we're going to extend this sleeve. Right, so one major thing, excuse my lack of false nail, one major thing before you extend or do anything to your second hexagon, okay, so like this is major, so just do all the extensions that you need to do to the first hexagon. So extend your sleeve, extend the width of the back and the side, and extend your length, okay? So this one here, so my first hexagon's got to a point where I would need to change over, okay? So this, I've extended it to fit me. Yes, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those there. I'm gonna like, it should have been changed, shouldn't it? yeah, never mind. I'm gonna refrog this row and do it the correct way, okay? But so if you have them like this way, right, you need to make sure that, say if the first hexagon you have extended was a side 1 or a side 3 or a side 5, that you are going to make sure that you extend the other hexagon on sides, you know, so you would have a side 2, 4 or a 6 touch in the back, okay? And what I mean by that is that here, and you need to kind of continue the pattern. So I know that it's all stretched out and these look like they're not matching up to the right sides, but if I like was to stitch it together like this, so imagine this is side 1, this is a side 2, so it's gone this way, then these two opposite sides will match up, these two opposites, these two opposites. You know, you want your basket weave pattern to continue down, okay? So if you were to, say for example, grab the bottom by accident and match like a side 1 to a side 1, when you go to marry them up at the back, you're going to marry them up and it's going to look like that. And then it's kind of like, I mean, people will just be able to tell it's the back. It'll look fairly inconsistent. So you need to make sure that you join like a side that was deemed a 1, 3 or 5 to a side 2, 4 or 6 at the back, okay? And then that will make sure that the basket weave pattern continues across the cardigan, okay? So instead of it looking all matchy, you need it like being the opposites attached to each other, okay? That's just a major point. So I've done all my extensions to the first hexagon, I've extended my sleeves and I've extended it to the length that I want, and now I'm just gonna marry it up, okay? So I'm going to show you what happens if you just like, you know, you could literally just get this to the length that you want, be it to your feet or whatnot, and then just do exactly the same to your other hexagon. Just make sure that it's on the opposite corner, okay? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to extend both. Well, I'm going to extend this one now because that one's done. I'm going to extend that one. If you wanted to extend this to your feet and not join them, then extend a bit more, then this will be you ready to do ribbings and stuff and like stitch up the sleeves or whatever order you do that in, okay? So you could just like go ahead, join it up and then do your ribbon, etc, etc. But for me, just in case people want to know how to join it and then how to lengthen it, I'm going to show you that. So if you already past the point where you're like, hey, well, I've already got this arm length, I've already got it to my feet, blah blah blah, or I've got it, you know, past my butt cheeks, that's where I want it, then you go for it. You stitch that up, you seam up your arms and you do all your ribbon, and that's you done. But for those who would just are curious, if you were to, you know, have it still looking at like cropped or something, then you would still need to join up like an odd side to an even side, and then I'll show you what to do if you've done that and you want to make it a bit longer, because there's some people that might want to remake this and they'll think, oh well, I'm just going to make this into a cropped cardigan, I think that'll look fabulous, and then I don't know, months later or whatnot, you want to take the ribbon off and you want to extend it the bottom, make it more of a winter cardigan, which you can, you know, it's your garment, you can do whatever the hell you want to it, you can embroider it if you want to. Could try that actually. But yeah, so I'm gonna seam this up that way after this hexagon is extended. I just wanted to point out that it is so major that you have to, you know, match up an odd side to an even side, okay? Right, let's go. Okay, right, extending. So having a look at this here is going to be like the right side of my body. This is the left side, okay? Left side is not edited, or, you know, edited, what's this, a film? Left side is not like made up to the proper measurements yet. However, the right side is, okay? So I've extended this sleeve, okay? So the sleeve, it's just one side. I'm going to show you that in just a second, how to extend just one side. So the sleeve I have extended by, and let's give this a count. So follow your diagonal lines, and where the diagonal lines end, okay, and you'll find like the last corner of your hexagon, okay? So here, I'm going to say, is the last corner of my hexagon. So in here was the last corner of my hexagon. So I extended my sleeve by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 rows. I actually think that might have been too much for me. So once I've got both sides extended, I'm going to try it on. I'm going to try the other side by 10 rows. And this side, I'm just going to keep it 15 for now. And I'm going to try them and compare it. So I'm learning from my mistakes with my waffle stitch hexagon cardigan. And on that one, I feel like I did the sleeves a little bit too long. And then I put the cuff on. And I feel like the cuff kind of pushes back and the sleeve poofs out a bit too much. So I am going to probably frog this back a little bit, but we'll see. I'm showing you how you judge it, like to fit yourself anyway, so that'll be a good thing to show you. So then what I did, I extended the front, okay, so this is the front, which will, you know, be over my chest. I extended the length, okay, so the bottom, and I extended the back, and I did all those 3 sides at the same time, just following it like it was my hexagon, except I was turning it and I wasn't doing like the bit that would run across my shoulders. Okay, so I missed out a couple of sides, so I'm going to show you how to do that as well. When I extended it, so when I extended the back, the front and the bottom at the same time, I extended it by 5 rows. Okay, so it was like, you know, 1, 1, 1, turn around, and then 2, 2, 2, etc. But I'm going to show you that anyway. So, and then what else I did is, because I need the back just to be that little bit longer so the 2 sides of the back will meet, I put another 3 rows just purely onto the back. Okay, so if you're following exactly what I'm doing, that's what I'm going to do to this side, and I'm going to show you. Okay, if you're not following what I'm doing, if you wanted to put a panel in between your 2 basket weaves, I mean, you might be making a basket of, you know, flowers cardigan, which would be so awesome. So if you did this in like an actual basket colour and then put like a panel of like flowers up the back, that'd be so cool. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. You could even use this as part of like a stitch sampler cardigan as well, which is essentially pretty much what my Akatar cardigans are. Like my Akatar inspired, my spring coat and night coat, etc. cardigans are all inspired, so they're basically stitch samplers. Anyway, pushing on. So this side is, I'm just going to pop this to one side because that side is pretty much done, except we might need to frog this, but we're going to compare that soon. Okay, so I'm going to put this here, fold it beautifully, try not to unravel the ball it's attached to, and we are going to grab this here. So I was naughty and I already started extending my sleeve. However, you can use the exact same technique of, you know, extending just the length of the sleeve. You can apply that to, like, if you just wanted to do the bottom. Okay, you can apply it if you just want the front, and you can apply it if you just want the back. There's only one slight adaptation. I'm just going to zoom you out a little bit if I can. There we go. Excuse the mess, it's a mess here. There's my hairbrush, you don't want to see that. So I'm going to be doing along here, I'm going to be doing along there, and I'm going to be doing along there. Okay, so that's the back, the front and the side. Okay, so I'm going to start here at the front. So this is the piece that would touch my neck. Okay, that's like the front left hand side. Yeah, so we'll start along there, we'll go along, remembering that, you know, this here we've got, let me just zoom you back in a little bit. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's time to change the back posts to front posts and the front posts to back posts. So this is actually a change row, so always keeping that in mind. Okay, because I'm going to be, you know, starting like not really in the corner, I'm going to be doing a straight line. I'm going to treat the sides as if it was like a blanket or something. Okay, so since this is the front here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my hook not into the chain space. You can if you want, if it makes life easier, but I want like a crisp edge to put my ribbon on in a bit. So here, I'm just going to I've put my hook into like the actual like chain. So if you can see, I didn't put it into the space. Yeah, this is the space. Put it into the chain. So, and then I'm just going to, this is how I'm going to tie on anyway. You can tie on any way you want, but this is how I'm tying on. So I'm just going to bring the yarn through and just put it in a nice, secure, tight knot, okay? Because I'm not having this thing unraveling on me. Okay, and then once you've done your slip knot, or you've put your yarn on, put it back into the space, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to chain 3. So there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that counts as a stitch. Okay, so we're going to go along, down the front, and then we'll go along the bottom, and then we will go along the back there. Okay, so we're going to extend 3 sides together, but I'm going to show you what you do to just extend one side. Okay, and then once I've shown you, I'll frog it, and then I'll show you the 3 sides. Okay, so let's act as if this is one side. So here, be mindful of where you've put it. So you go in, you chain 3, and then I'll just zoom you in a little bit like that. There we go. So you've chained 3 here. Now these, remember, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's time to switch up. So you're gonna, if I can get my yarn there, so these now need to be front posts, and then these next ones need to be back posts. So my chain 1 counts, so I'm now gonna yarn over, grab the first stitch with a front post double crochet, and then make a double crochet, yarn over, and then make another front post, yarn over, and then a third one. Okay, so as you go along, if you're just extending one side, you're not going to be like putting like 2 and then 1 in the corner like you did for actually doing the hexagon. You're just going to treat it like it's a blanket. So if you've worked with the basket weave stitch, you'll know that it just kind of, you know, it just keeps going up and up and up, and you can keep your edges smooth like that. You could either, there's a couple of ways to do it. You can either have a chain one or like a half double in the corner, and then in front you'll have, you know, your actual front posts and back posts, but I'm just going to count that as part of like this group of stitches. Okay, so now just following on from the hexagon, just go across, and then we'll back post into these front posts to switch it up to be the other, you know, piece of the design, like that. And then just continue along with that. Okay, if you're not quite at a changey row one, if you were just like, if you just had 1 2 and bring it to the middle, if you just had like 1 2, and then, you know, you would just continue and like the pattern. So I just happen to be here, I just happen to finish on a 1 2 3 4. Okay, so if you were like here, or if you'd finished there, you literally just continue the pattern. Okay, so if you're not up to like 1 2 3 4, don't, you know, change the front post, back post, keep doing the pattern. Okay, so I'm going to go along, and then so I'll go along here, and then I'm going to meet you when we get to this corner, and I'm going to show you what you do. So this is just if you're extending one side, I'm just showing you that. And then to extend multiple sides at the same time, just look at the timestamps, that'll be the next timestamp. So this is one side, so I'm going to meet you when we get into this corner here. Right, okay, I'm just getting to the end. So I've just done some back posts in here, and I'm doing some front posts in there. So last front post there. Okay, and this just happens to be on this row where I finished that I'm going to have like a complete little cluster in the corner, so like a little set of 4, if you will. So I'm just going to yarn over, and you can put the final yarn over and double crochet into the chain space, but just to like keep the edges neat, I like to put it into the actual chain. So I'm just going to go under 2 loops of that chain for that previous corner, and then just do a double crochet into it like that. Okay, if my yarn wasn't trying to split on me, there we go. Okay, so, and then just chain 3, 1 2 3, and then if this is just one side that you're doing, you're going to just flip your work like that, as if it was a blanket or a scarf that you were doing in basket weave, and then all you're going to do is just continue with the pattern. So when you get to the end, you'll just chain 3, and that'll count as your first stitch, and then, you know, you'll just get to the end, the last stitch, you'll just, you know, chain 3, etc, etc. So I'll just show you on this one. So these ones here, so I don't need to flip my pattern over, because look, there's just one now, so I need to build up the pattern. So I would just yarn over, and then back post into the back posts that I need to, and then front post into the front post that I need to. Okay, and then, yeah, when you get to the end, you just chain 3, and then you just keep going with it. So there we go. I'm dragging a piece of purple random scrap yarn with me. So here, and then front post into the front post. So if you want to meet me back, and that was a bit massive, wasn't it? So if you want to meet me back at the end of this row, I'll show you it again. So just get to the end of this row, and I will show you what you do again. So give me a second. Right, so I'm just getting to the other side here. So I've just got 2 more left. So 1 front post for this one, and then at the end, just yarn over, go into the chain. It'll make your edges straighter. And I didn't quite get myself in the chain there. There we go. So inside the chain like that. Okay, so then you just keep doing that until you get to the length that you want for like a sleeve, or just for like the bottom, for example, if you're doing the bottom. And because you're doing that, so if we have a look at this here, so it should just look straight. And then when it comes to like seaming up, because this essentially could be like a sleeve, so when it comes to seaming it up, you're just going to either like, well, seam it up your favorite way if you do like your own way, or if you're doing single crochets, I'm going to show you what I do when I seam it up. But so that's one side. Okay, so I'm going to show you now doing multiple sides at the same time. Okay, so if you're just doing one side for the sleeve, go for it. And now I'm going to do the other 3 sides. Okay, so I'm just going to flip this around and show you the 3-side method. Okay, and just like an important piece, it will start off exactly the same as this method. The only thing that changes is the corner. Okay, so when you join on, hang on, let me just get it. When you've joined on, like for example, I've joined on on this side, okay, and I've continued to go on with my pattern, okay. So I've joined on there and I've gone along, and I'm gonna do like the front, the bottom and the back, okay. So join on, follow the pattern, because I remember I had 4, and then you can, you would change it to be like back front post and then back post, etc. So follow your pattern, and then you go all the way along the first side that you're extending. In my case it's the front, and then you would get to the first corner, okay. This is when you need to pay attention to the pattern that was going on beforehand. So with the pattern here, if you notice, I'll just take this out for a second. So like if I just look down here, in this corner here for that row, that was 2 double crochets and then chain 2 double crochets, and then on the next row it was 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. On this row below it's 2 double crochet, chain 2 double crochet, which means for this row I need to do 1 double crochet. So there it is, 1 double crochet, and then I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to yarn over, and then I'm going to do 1 double crochet into there like that, and then I'm just going to switch it around a little bit, so just move it, shift it so I'm comfortable. And now this is the bottom of the cardigan, so you would just continue your pattern. So these ones here, I don't need to change what I'm doing, do I? Oh yes I do actually. On this row I need to change what I'm doing, okay. So like I say, keep an eye on your pattern, because it's, if I just look along, don't look here because it looks like 3. If I look here, it's definitely 1 2 3 4, so I need to change over. So I will make these back post double crochets. Okay, so 1 2 3, okay, and because I'm changing, these ones are now front post double crochets, and I'm going to continue that along this bottom bit of the cardigan. And then, so let me just, there we go, and if I went all the way along and then I got to this corner, it should be the same corner setup, okay, because look here, as you can see, you've got 2 double crochet, chain 2, and then 2 double crochet. So into this corner as well you will do 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet, and then you'll go along the next side. So it's just like you're doing the hexagon, but you're just doing a part of it, okay. And then instead of going like, 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet, no, you're not going to do that. You'll put your hook into the actual chain itself, okay, and then you'd pull your yarn through, you'd complete your double crochet, and then you would turn it, and then you would chain 3, and you would just keep going as if it was one side that you were extending, except it's not one side you're extending, it's 3. You just so happen to have had 2 corners in between the actual turning. So the turning is exactly the same as extending one side. The only difference is you just need to get round like however many corners you're extending by just following the pattern, okay. I mean, if you've got any questions on this, like pop them in the comments and I'll try to like answer them for you. But like, be mindful if you're putting questions in the comments and it's been like a year or 2 or maybe more since this tutorial was published, I might have a written pattern out, or I might have just completely forgotten how to do this. In that case, if you see anybody with questions and you feel like you could help them and answer the question and I've not been able to do so, then do help people out, because that's what this community is all about. So like, just to recap, when you join your yarn on, there we go. This is for both methods, so this is for extending one and both sides, okay. So once you join your yarn on, okay, you would just chain 3 and then treat it as part of whatever little cluster it's part of, and then you'll go along following the pattern, follow, and then if you are turning a corner, follow the pattern to turn a corner, just like you did with the hexagons, okay. If you're not turning a corner, let me just pull this out here. There. So if you were not turning a corner, you would just, put your last double crochet of the row into the chain space or into whatever stitch is here. Okay, once your double crochet is complete, you'd then chain 3 and then you would work your way back along again, following the pattern. So I'm going to do my extensions. I'm going to extend my sleeve. Now I did say I'm just going to extend it by 10 and I'm going to try it against the extension of 15. So I'm going to do all my extensions and I'm going to do my sleeves, those 2 different sizes, and we're going to compare them before we actually seam them up. Right, I'm going to put my cardigan down. So this will be so that the back is facing me. Apologies, my table's not that massive, so I'm going to try and do this. Can I zoom out? Will that work? Okay, ignore the mess. There's just like my background bits and some stuff on the floor. Don't look at that. So, right, this here, so this bit sticks out more than that bit because this is the back, so that's the right side. And then, because I've extended these by exactly the same amount, if I can just grab this one here, just got a bit stretched. So then it matches up, so can you see the pattern kind of? Let me just zoom you in a bit more. So here, like obviously these bits, that's like a sticky, hang on, there we go. That's a sticky up one, that's not a sticky up one, they will seam together. And then you can see it kind of will follow the pattern. So when I'm just pushing it together like that, it's not very noticeable. So the join on this one is going to be like less noticeable than like previous cardigans, like the waffle stitch one, the waffle stitch one. So the waffle stitch one was like a little bit more like you could tell kind of that it was joined. But the join I'm going to do for this, I don't actually know the name of it. Some people call it mattress, but anyway, you need to get yourself a yarn needle. I'm going to find one in my trusty tin. That's far too big. Hang on, let me find one. Okay, so a yarn, let me just stop you wiggling. So a needle like this, okay, so you've got a nice big like fat eye for like putting the yarn through, and then not too sharp. You don't really need a sharp one because this is not like weaving in ends, this is just stitching up. So what you want to do is get yourself like a length of yarn which is like maybe the length and a half of your cardi, or maybe twice the length. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to measure out like the length of my cardi and then some extra like that, and then I'm going to snip it. Okay, I mean it's not an issue if I've not cut enough because you can always add yarn on. So then thread your needle, and then I'm just going to line my cardigan back up so that we can actually, hang on, let me just zoom you back out again. We're going to line it up. So it doesn't really matter if you start from the bottom or the top, you're going to be doing the same thing anyway. So what you're going to do, okay, for this stitch is kind of get yourself, like, I don't know if you can see, let me just zoom. I know my hands are yellow, I like to cook with turmeric, okay? So we're going to get into the corner like that, okay? So hopefully you can see, I've just kind of, nope, my camera is not playing today, there we go. So I've just kind of got myself into like one of the stitches there. So you need to get into the stitch like that. So you're under it, so it's like in a little crisscross, can you see it? So I'm like in the corner, in there, okay? And then just kind of pull it through. Okay, so pull the length of it through. Hopefully I've got enough here. Okay, and I just like to tie it on. So I'll just tie it on in a double knot and leave a tail that I can weave in like that. So there's my double knot all tied in. Wow, my hands are so yellow, I didn't even realise. That's turmeric for you. Right, so all threaded. So what you need to do, once you're in that side, grab the corresponding side, and you kind of want to like marry up stitch to stitch, okay? So just make sure that, get this little piece of flint or whatever you call it, get that piece of crap off there. Right, so this is like the top of like the corner stitch there. I know it's where I've finished like there, but I'm just going to kind of go into it because it's still secured. So I'm going to go into it, like under it there. It doesn't have to be the neatest because you are going to add like either rows onto it, which is what I'm going to do, or if you've made yourself a cropped version, then you're just going to add things onto the bottom. So it doesn't need to be absolutely like stunningly perfect because, you're going to do things to finish it off. Let me just get these tails out the way because they're really annoying. Right, so now we're into this side. We need to go back into this side. So technically, it doesn't matter if this pulls loose a bit, it's fine. So technically we have come out of like this stitch here, okay? So I'm going to go in here, underneath, and then through like that. And then I'm just going to pull my yarn like that, and then it should pull tight. I know I've got loads of tails here, okay? So then with your other side, so you want to find like, so we technically came out of there. I'm just going to go under that stitch there. Okay, so it kind of like loosely marries up your pattern, and it does it like so it's seamless. Like you could do this in a, like if you've got a variegated cardigan that you're doing, then you're not really going to see this yarn that's going to seam these up because it would kind of blend in. I mean, if I was going to do some like put, I don't know, like this magical sparkly colour like this, if I was going to seam it up with that, you probably still wouldn't really see it because of the nature of the stitches. Okay, so then whichever one we came out of, so on here last time I came out of this one, so I'm just going to hop over into the next one and kind of go up like that without catching the next one. And that's all you're going to do to seam it up. And that's probably what I'll do to seam up my shoulders as well. I haven't even looked to see if they'll match. I don't even, that's one thing I haven't considered yet. So on my shoulders, okay, so like on my shoulders it might be slightly different. They could be like, the pattern might not be the same. So like I'm deliberately trying to seam it up here so that you can't see. So like it's matching up like that, okay. But on here, like it just depends like where you finished your rows on. So it's probably going to look like not like the back on here, but it's fine. So the last one I came out of was here. So I'm going to go into there like that, and I'm just going to go under the loop, and then I'm just going to keep going. So then I'll have a look at the other side. If you pull it apart slightly, you can see, look, I came out of this one, so I'll jump over and then I'll go, hang on. So out of this one, see it's not facing me, so I'm trying to get it there. Okay, so then I'll go under. And that's all you're going to do. I mean, you could single crochet it together if you wanted to. I think that this will give it a better look, to be honest. If you've done a side 1, matched it up to a side 2, then you know the pattern's going to look pretty flawless. So I'm just going to continue up here, so going into like jumping through each one. See, there's that one there, and then I will meet you close up to the top and just show you how I tie it off and how the pattern looks when we've put it all together. So I'll see you in two minutes. Right, so I'm just getting to the last little few bits of that. So this is how it's looking. Like just in hindsight, like you can kind of see like to the naked eye, like to the non-crocheting eye, nobody's really going to know like the pattern, but I can tell because there's a 1 2 3, but then there's a 1 2, okay? So the 3 was seamed up. So maybe I could have like extended them by like another one. So you know when you get to like the 4th one and you would then change. Maybe I should have got to the 4th one, or maybe I should have put, but it's fine. Like I generally, when I'm wearing that around, people are just going to be complimenting the colour because it's such a pretty colour. So I am like happy with that. It's pretty seamless. So that's what that stitch looks like when you do it. And it doesn't just work for things like this. It literally works for anything, because if you've got, you know, V's like this, hang on, let me just get my light right. So if you've got V's on the top of like stitches around the edges of granny's squares, like they will seam up lovely with this stitch. So it works for pretty much anything. So let me just get these tails out of the way, and I'm just going to do the final couple of pieces, and then I'll show you what I do to tie off. So one in here, hang on, let me just get it in there perfectly like that. One in here. Like I said, it doesn't have to be absolutely spot on perfect. There or thereabouts is fine. Okay, so these will marry up there, so into here. And then they should just have 2 more stitches, so into this last one here. So I'll just grab the corner of that one, and then I'll just grab the corner of this. Just like that. Okay, and then that is totally seamed up, and then this loose end that I've got here, I'm just going to use it just to tie that. I'm not going to do it too tightly, because what I am going to do is I'm just going to bring this cardigan onto the, you know, my work surface, and I'm just going to stretch it, and I'm just making sure that I've not bunched it up anywhere, because that is literally the last thing you want, to have a bunched up cardigan, because even steaming and blocking wouldn't sort it out. Oops. Yeah, steaming and blocking wouldn't sort it out if you'd pulled that so tight and then ruched the back like that. You literally need to give it a little bit of a stretch just to make sure that you've actually seamed it and that it's the right size. Okay, let me zoom you out a little bit. That's better. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just making sure that it's perfect. So you can see there, but if it's like, if I'm wearing it, yeah, and then that's my back, like you really can't see where I've put the join there. So that I feel is the best way to join the back. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip you around and I'm going to try it on, and we're going to have a look at how the sleeves look when it's seamed up. I've still not frogged my sleeves yet, just I want to have a look at it. So I'm going to flip this round and we're going to have a look. Okay, right, so I've literally just like put the camera up on my tripod there. So come here, it's snagging on some little hooks that are lying around. Okay, right. So how do the arms actually look when it's on? Well, actually, you know what? I think I might actually have to put more on my arms. Okay, so you can see how it's fitting now. So, well, there was me thinking that I needed to frog my arms, but no. Oh no, mate, yeah, I don't think I need to frog it. So 15 hang on, let me just get from that one, that you need to do this when you're like trying to measure it on yourself. Or actually, I don't think any, hang on, does frogging need to take place? Like, just put in the comments what you think at this point. I actually think 15 is a good number because that now feels a little bit short. So I might just add, I'm actually going to add 3 more rows. So this is why this is so important. This is what the back looks like. Okay, so it feels good, like I've extended it correctly on the back. I literally just did an extra 5 rows on top of all the extensions I did. So I have extended it by that much, like towards each other in total in the back. So that feels like it fits nice. I think once I seam the arms up, they're not going to look so baggy. And I think 15 was probably, the chair's in the way, 15 was probably a good number because I know that these sleeves, and I'm going to steam it as well, so I know that these sleeves will extend. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to extend this by 3 rows, and then I'm going to meet you back to seam the arms up because, yeah, 3 more rows, seam these up, and then we're going to look at the length. I think all the ribs and cuffs is what I'm going to do last. So I will meet you back in like, well, a second for you, probably like another 5-10 minutes, and some more of my A Court of Mist and Fury book for me. So yes, right, meet you in a couple of seconds once it's time to seam these arms up. Right, so when it comes to seaming it up, I've just stopped like extending this sleeve here. So this is just like where I've still got my yarn here. Okay, this is from Tiger, Copenhagen, I think. I can't remember. But this was like £5. That's my yarn ball. Anyway, right, so what I'm going to do is, because I'm still using this yarn here, I'm just going to go to the corner of the other side that doesn't have any yarn in it. And I'm just going to go literally right into the corner. And then I'm going to pull this yarn tight on my hook, and then I'm just going to pull it through like that. Okay, then I'll chain 1. Okay, you can also like join your yarn on as well, so you don't have to do it like this. My yarn was just here, so you could like put both together, put the yarn through them, and then tie a knot. So I think I'll have to do that on the other one because the other one doesn't have a ball of yarn attached to it. Anyway, so right, these were 15 long, FYI, I didn't frog it, these are 15 long. So once you're here, what you'll notice is these are like the edges of the double crochets. So what I like to do is I like to go into the one of them and then go into the corresponding one, and then I'm just going to put 2 single crochets into each one. So there's 1, there's 2. Like, this cardigan's really heavy, so it's trying to fall off the table now. So the next row, so in the side of this row, go into that one, and then find the next row and put 2 single crochets into those, like that. Okay, and then the next row, do the same thing. And this will only happen for the rows that you extended. So you'll do that for the rows that you extended along. You'll just put like 2 double crochets into the side of each row, and then eventually you'll get to where there's like V's, which are like the actual, you know, top of stitches. So this extension is the side of stitches, and this hexagon part is like the top of stitches. So just keep going with 2 single crochets into the side of each one, so matching them up, and then just go just go single crochets once you get into the V's like that. So I'll do this here, I'll just speed it up, and I'll choose maybe some free music or some silence for you, depending on if YouTube wants to demonetize me for using like what seems to be free music. So I'll just keep going with this. So just single crochet all the way along, so 2 into the sides, and then when you get to the top of the stitches, oh hang on, I've not completed my stitch there we go. And yeah, just keep going until you get to the edge of the actual, like until you get to the end. So I'll just speed it up for you. Right, so I've just got up to where like I can see the top of the double crochets there. So then once you've done your last 2 single crochets into like the side of the last row there, then you can just go in. Where is it? There's the last one. Okay, so I'm just getting to like the top of the actual stitches here, so I can just put my hook in and then I can just single crochet the two corresponding ones together. So there's that one. So next stitch, and then I'll just continue all the way until I get up to the neck. So I will see you when I get up to the neck. Okay, so I just got to the last single crochet there. So those last few stitches were just like into the sides because again these were extensions here. So it looks pretty neat there. So I'm going to do the other side and I'm going to, hang on, I'll just show you what it looks like when I turn it back the correct way. So looking at that, so there we go. Oops. So this is the top of the sleeve here. So as you can see, it doesn't look like the back. So it has like, it's matched up like that. But I mean, I don't really care because like one side's going to be on the front of your body, one side's going to be on the back of your body. So like, I'm happy with that. Like to the naked eye, nobody really knows like that it doesn't, you know, that it doesn't match up with the odds and evens. But I like it. It's a nice pattern. So yeah, I'm going to do the other sleeve. I'm going to stop wiggling this camera. I'll do the other sleeve seamed up. So I'm going to do the cuffs and I'm going to do the ribbon around the outside as soon as I've seamed up the other arm. So just treat the other arm exactly as this one. So just, you know, start it whichever end you like. You can start, I've just preferred to start it at the end because I know that I'll go all the way along and I'll match my stitches rather than try to like find like which stitches match up to where on this one. But it just should end in like the correct place because if you look, that would have been like the same row there. So yeah, I'm going to go and do the other sleeve and then I'm going to show you exactly what I do to extend the bottom. Okay, so here's the bottom. We need to extend that because I'm not having a cropped cardigan, so I'll do that and then afterwards it will be ribbing and cuffs. Right, I've got the cardigan all seamed up at the back and the sides are, sorry, not the sides, the cardigan's all now seamed at the back and up the sides. And now what I've realised is I think I need to extend it more. So if I put it on, like I actually really like this cropped. My hair's a mess. Ugh. So I actually really like it cropped. I don't know, like, let me just move this down. It's actually so nice cropped. This would make such a good cardi cropped. I'm going to just need to move the drugs out of the way. So if I was to put like a border on this, and then you could just like, I don't know, you could do like a slight decrease or something, or yeah, you could literally just like leave it like this because it still looks really good. Like the sides are fab. But yeah, if you were going to do a cropped basket weave, like do it because it looks really good. I actually think I want to do a cropped basket weave in like a blue colour. But yeah, this is really nice. Oh my god, yeah. Somebody please make one of these and then either tag me on TikTok or tag me on Instagram because like cropped is so good. But for me, because I would like it a little bit longer, so I don't know if oh my god, I can't get over it. It's so nice. Oh my god, that's it. End of tutorial. It's done. Don't do anything else. No, I'm joking. Let me just take it off. So I need to extend like the length of it because I would like it just a little bit longer. But yeah, in the future I'm definitely going to make a cropped version. So with the back, I just need to kind of experiment with how I'm gonna like, you know, continue the basket weave pattern, or if it's actually a case that I actually need to just extend each side further down and then just like seam it up, because you know what it is, that actually looks really good. So if I'm honest, I probably should have just you know, lengthened it before I joined it. But I mean, it's a learning curve. I know it's a tutorial, but like if I do this now and say, well, you know, it's easier just to do it like one side at a time and then join it up, because if I'm honest, like unless I really look for it, I can't really see the join. Right, okay, this is the bottom of the cardigan, as you can see. So this is where it's joined in the middle. Now this is the back side, like facing outward. So this is the back that you'll see if you're wearing it, okay? So look, this is the back here. So we're going to start from this side here. We're going to join our yarn on, and then we're just going to follow the pattern along, and then it's just going to change slightly. So if you've seen my tutorial for the waffle stitch cardigan, you'll know that when we get to this bit here, like the bit where you've extended the hexagons to fit, then so there's the normal hexagon there, and then obviously it turns the corner, and this is like your extension here. So here, like they've got normal stitches there. So if we look at it, normal stitches, and then all of a sudden it's like the sides of stitches there. So we just need to kind of, just for this row, we're going to I'm going to show you what you do with these. Okay, so let me just get my yarn. So I'm just going to join my yarn onto the side on here, so just give me a second while I do that. So I've literally just gone in like this. Oops, no I haven't. There, right, so I've just gone in and into 2 of the chains there, and then I've just like tied the yarn in a knot, and then I'm just going to bring it through. So just looking at what we've got here, so technically like in this, at the end here, we've got like maybe 4 stitches. You can make 4 stitches out of this. You can do 3 if you want, because it kind of looks like 3. What have we got on the other side? We've got, yeah, the same kind of thing. So I'm going to turn this into like a little 4 here. You don't have to. I'm just going to touch my camera because it was a bit blurry. So you don't have to turn it into like 4, but I'm going to, just for the sake of the pattern. So here I'm just going to chain 3 in this corner, 1 2 3. I'm then going to yarn over, go into the corner with a double crochet, and then I'm just going to look at the pattern. So here we weren't on like any turning ones or anything, we've still got 3 here. So I'm just going to front post these 2 here, so it just, like, you know, it lines it up with the pattern. So there's 1 front post, and there's 2 front posts there. Okay, and all I'm going to do, so these are back posts, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow the pattern of this side of the hexagon until I get to the space where I joined up. Okay, so let me just do this one here. So I'm going to go all the way along, so all the way along here. I'm not going to make you watch that because you'll just get bored. So I'm going to go all the way along here until I get to the part where like it's not normal stitches anymore. So I'm going to get to like the extendy bits. So when you get to like the corner of your true hexagon, which is like here ish, like it depends on what you're doing, but yeah, so once you get to there, I'm going to meet you back. So I'll bring the camera back on when I get to about here, and I'm just going to show you how we will tackle this extension bit here. Right, okay, so I've reached the bit here where we are about to like leave the hexagon and go into, you know, the sides of these rows here. So I'm just going to finish up with my current pattern. So I'm just on the 4th back post double crochet there. So then for this one you need to kind of look, so I'm just trying to, the cardigan's so big, I'm trying to get it onto here. So looking at the pattern, let me just zoom you out, okay? Just move my scissors, move my stitch markers, move my roll. So right, if you look, we've got 4 back posts, 4 front posts. Just done 4 back posts, so I'm going to need 4 front posts, then I'll need 4 back posts, and then here's the line. Then I'll need 4 front posts, 4 back posts, 4 front posts, and we should match back up at the pattern with 4 back posts there. So here I know that there's not like, you know, 4 like of these perfect stitches that I can, hang on, let me just zoom you in. So there's not 4 perfect stitches that I can put my actual like next set of front posts into. Okay, so you just kind of have to like eyeball it. It's kind of almost there but not. So I'm going to start by putting 2 front posts into the 2 stitches that are here. So there's 1 front post, 2 front posts there, like that. And to be fair, each like set of stitches should be like the width of, like, say for example this cube of stitches here. So I'm just gonna go into this chain space here. So this is the corner of the true hexagon here. So I'm just going to put 2 normal double crochets. I might put 1, let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going to put 2 normal double crochets into that chain space, and then the next set of them have to be back posts. So kind of positioning as best you can. So I'm going to put my back post around that stitch there. I need 4 back posts in total. If you can't get all of the back posts, it's totally fine to just put normal stitches, because as the pattern goes on, you're gonna like correct it anyway. So I need 3 more, you know, stitches for this set of 4. So I can put 2 here. So there's 1 I can put here, and I can put 1 there, but I'm going to need an extra one. So I think I'm going to just yarn over and put a normal double crochet in there, and then here I'm going to just put at the, like, because this is a row, this is like the end of a row, I'll put a back post there and a back post in the next one. Okay, and then I need front post double crochets, and we've just kind of arrived at the line. So let me just have a look at these. So I've got 3 potential stitches where I can put those 3 front posts. So, and what I'll do is the actual stitching that joins it up, I'm going to put a front post around that, like that. So there's one. Okay, here's the end of a row. So just like, honestly, just put them where best you can if you're doing this method. Okay, so 2 front post double crochet there, and 1, let's have a look, 1 here, like that. Oops, there, like that. Okay, so we're nearly back at the corner. I just need to put, so this is the true corner of the other hexagon, so we're nearly finished doing this little piece. So I now need to do back posts, so I'm going to just yarn over, and then I'm just going to back post into the end of that, like that stitch there. I'll do another one into that one, and then I'm just going to put 2 normal double crochets in here. Let's have a look. Oh, actually 1 2 3 4 5, I can put a back post into this stitch here because that would be part of this cluster technically. So it's kind of like, you know, your cardigan's not going to look exactly the same as mine. You're going to have like a slight variation, so depending on where you stopped your rows, etc., you know, it's going to be a slight variation. So as long as you make it look like it forms the pattern, then you're going to be absolutely fine. But that's just how I've done that. So I'm just going to continue now. Just let me zoom you out a second. I'm going to just continue along because I'm back now to the pattern. So look, you can see these are back posts. Here's my front posts here. So I've just used that stitch. So these are now going to be front post double crochets. So I'm just going to follow my pattern now, and then when I get to the end, I'm just going to do the same method for turning and doing my rows as I do for extending one side, because it's just the same. So I'm just going to go along this row here, and once I've gone along, I'll meet you at the end and I'll just remind you what happens when you get to the end. Right, I'm just getting to the very end of this row, so I'm just doing my final. I've ended on front post double crochets. So 1 2 3 4, and obviously this is a back post, so there's 1 back post there. Okay, and then I'm just going to put this into the end. It might, something on my stitching might have been different, but I'm kind of doing a different number of stitches than I did to the other side, but it's fine, it looks even anyway. I'm just struggling to get my hook into the chain. Get in there. Okay, right, so there we go. Final stitch in there. Then all you need to do once you've got to the end is literally chain 3, 1 2 3, turn it around. This cardigan's quite big now, so excuse me when I turn it around. Okay, and then you're just going to follow the pattern going back along the other side. So you can see the pattern's clearly marked, so just follow it. So once I hit like 4 verticals, sorry, once I've hit 4 horizontals, I'm going to switch. Okay, so, and don't forget that the pattern actually switches as you get to the other half of the cardigan, because like they should be opposite sides. So that's literally all you've got to do, because you've done the piece in the middle. Okay, so this is it flipped over. You've done the piece in the middle, so you've already set up the pattern to continue, like the back post, front post, etc. on there. So yeah, you just need to continue, make it as long as you want, and then I will meet you back here to do the ribbing and the cuffs. Okay, and what I might do, because I feel like my sleeves are just a little bit too poofy, so I might just do a slight decrease on these. So I'll show you how to do a slight decrease on the sleeves as well. So I will see you in a minute. Okay, we've got the length. I don't think it's as long as my other ones. Forgot to mention it's like really early on a Saturday morning, and I just want this done. So, right, that's how it's looking. So I think I do need to extend the sleeves. I didn't think I would need to, but maybe just by a few rows. But that'll give me a chance to decrease them, because they're currently like flary, and I don't want flary. Anyway, like, love this. I don't think I'm going to need too wide of a ribbing, so probably just like maybe that much. But yeah, let me just scoot my chair. I'll have to move you down. I've recently tidied my craft room, so if you just want to have a look, like, I saw a shop in Wales doing this with like the IKEA boxes, and I was like, I'm doing that. So that's like pretty much like all my turkey yarn in that one there, so yay. Anyway, right, so this is the length. So it's like peekabum length. So it will drop because like the stitches are quite compact, it's not being steamed or anything. So I reckon that'll drop probably a good 3 or 4 inches, which will be perfect. The sleeves probably will stretch, but I'm just going to extend them purely just to like decrease them a little bit, which is really easy. So I think I'm going to show you how to do I'm going to do a layer of single crochet all the way around the garment, so all the way up around the neck, all the way around the base. So 1 layer of single crochet, and then I might just do single crochet ribbon, I'm not sure. I'm going to check what it looks like, maybe front loop, back loop, but maybe only 3 rows, because I honestly don't want a lot, because it looks pretty nice now, and it would just be nice if it was just straight, but I don't know. Anyway, so let's do a layer of single crochet around, and then maybe just like 3 rows of like front loop, back loop, just to kind of finish it off. And then after that, we're going to decrease the sleeves, and I'm going to show you how to put a cuff on if you don't want to put a cuff, because I reckon it would actually look nice just like turned up. I know I've got long sleeves on there, but it would probably just look nice turned up like that. But it's up to you what you want. I'm putting a cuff on this just to show you what it looks like. I mean, I could take them off in the future, but anyway. Oh right, my throat's really sore. I've got a bad throat, I don't know what's happening, but anyway. Yes, let's single crochet, ribbing, and then let's decrease and rib. Okay, right, so let me just zoom you out a little bit, just to ignore like the generalness of my desk around here. So here, this is like my cardigan facing you, so this is like where my neck goes. I'm just going to sew in these ends here, so like obviously this is the ends from when I'd seamed up at the back. I've got some ends here from when I single crocheted the arms up. So I'm just going to tie those in, or like weave them in, and then I'm going to show you what you do. I'm just going to kind of start doing my single crochet from around here, just to show you what you do when you get up around the neck. So, because I mean, it's pretty straightforward when you're doing the single crochet around the whole thing. But I'm going to show you what you do firstly around the neck, but I'm going to weave these in first, so just give me a second. Right, okay, those are all sewn in. Okay, it looks like uneven around here, like it is the correct number of rows, etc. It just looks bumpy, hence wanting to put a row of single crochet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it so that it's not facing me. So this is like the right way out, but I'm just like working at the back. Okay, I'm just going to grab the side, and I'm just going to put my hook in basically anywhere into one of these stitches. So I'm just going to put it in there. And then I'm going to grab my yarn. I mean, this is how I tie my yarn on. So if you tie your yarn on differently, then, you know, you go for it. So I'm just going to pull it through. And like, I don't want this coming apart whilst I'm out and about. So I'm just going to put that in a nice knot there. Okay. And then I'm going to put my hook in, do a chain, and then go back in, and then turn that into a single crochet like that. Then into the next one, single crochet. And then, without bashing the camera, I thought my new setup would stop me bashing the camera, but no, this is my setup here. So just go into the V's at the top of the stitches, and then when you get into the corner, so just let me zoom you for a bit, like, so you can see this is the active corner of a hexagon. Okay, this is where I've seamed it up, so this is the top of the arm seam. Okay, so this is where it all joins. So just to make it nice and neat, you can see here, so this is the original hexagon end here. These are the rows that extend. So I'm just going to look for like just basically the holes where I can put this in. So I'm just going to put a single crochet in there, and then I'll just go into here, and I'm just going to put a single crochet in there like that, and then just one in here. Actually, I'm going to put 2. What you'll find is these are the edges of rows here, so these are not like V's like the top of a true stitch. So I would put 2 single crochets into each one of the sides of the row. So there's 1, 2, and then 2 in this side of the row, because these are obviously the rows that are extended across to fit your back, yeah, because that's where the middle seam is on the back of the cardigan. Okay, so here's the end of a row, so I'm going to put 2 single crochets into there. Okay, and then it's kind of getting a bit harder to find where to put them, but just pull things apart and have a look. Okay, so 2 single crochets into there. This is the seam where I've joined it up. I'm just going to go into here and put 2 single crochets into there. and then into the next end of the row, which is here, single crochet, oops, without my hook coming out. Hang on, let me put it back in there. Nope, I think it's because my yarn's so tight over here. There. And then this is the end of the next row there, so I'm going to put 2 single crochets into there, okay, and then 2 single crochets into the next space, okay, and we're going to get back to this corner in a second. So 2 single crochets into here, okay, and you can see this is where I've seamed it up, okay, so you'll have like a space here, there's a space there, a space there, and a space there. Ignore that space, okay, just go into here, okay. You just want to, you know, create enough stitches to make the collar just go nice and round, because all you want is these like little V's, okay. And then this will, I mean, it'll straighten out when the collar's on. Obviously, like this, for whatever reason, I've stitched this side just a little bit higher than that one, and that's why it's got a bit of a ridge, but it's fine. Once I've got the ribbon on, it'll totally sort itself out, okay. And then look, I'm getting back onto where I've got proper stitches to put my hook in, like there. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to work my way once around the entire garment, like this, all the way down. And what I'll do as well, so here you've got, my hook's just fell out, but it's fine, I'll be able to pick that back up. So as we look down, so this is like the side of the cardigan, okay, this is the side. I'm just going to meet you, so this is where I started extending the length, okay. So when you get down here, all you want to do, because you've got like the sides, okay, these are not the top of stitches, these are the sides, you just want to put 2 single crochets into the side of each row. Let me just get down here and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, right, I've not woven the ends in just yet from there, but you can see like this is my last stitch there, and then from there we'll go into like the sides of stitches. Well, to be fair, this is like the end of the hexagon, so I'll just pop 1 stitch in there like that. I don't want to pop 2 in there because like it's just going to give it too many stitches. And then here's the first side of a row, so I'm going to put 2 in this one, okay. These ends will just get woven in a bit later, okay. So just put 2 single crochet into the side of each, like, because these were double crochet stitches, okay. And that's what you do whenever you get to those type of stitches where you're not in like a proper V, you just put 2 in. So there's 1, 2. Right, when you get to the corners, okay, so I'm just going to pop my 2 stitches in the row before the bottom row, like that, okay. And then this like would technically be my corner. So what I'm going to do is just put 5 single crochets in there, because I like the edges of my cardigans to be rounded, like the corners to be rounded. I just think it looks nice. If you're doing your ribbon a different way, then you know, you go for it, that's your cardigan. I just like them to look rounded, and then especially when you steam them, and there's the third one, when you steam them, like they go nice and like round, whatever you've built, like whatever stitch or pattern you've built on top. So there's 5, and then because like this is the bottom of the cardigan, these are proper V stitches here, like proper rows, so you can just go into each single crochet. So when you're doing each corner, pop 5 in, and like I say, when you go on the top of each stitch gets 1 single crochet, but if you're doing the sides of each row, each double crochet will have 2 single crochets put into it. So I will see you when you've got all the way around. Okay, so I'm just finishing up all the way around on here. I'm just going to join back into my first single crochet with a slip stitch here, like this. There we go. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, because let me just zoom you out a second. So like that looks really neat. If you wanted, you could just continue with like a few rows of single crochet and it'll look nice. But like I want like just like a teensy bit of ribbon. I'm not going to like do loads and loads, but what I'm going to do, because I've worked with a 5mm this whole time, is I'm just going to change that now, and I'm going to go into ribbing mode. So I want my ribbon to look a little bit more compact, a little bit more dainty than the actual cardigan itself. So I'm just switching up to my, like, this is just one of Amazon's finest. In fact, it might even be in Shein, or I don't know, it's just a basic crochet hook that you can get like anywhere. Sorry, I'm going to use my 3.5 hook to make my ribbing. So all I'm going to do now is I am just going to do a stacked double crochet. So put my hook back in, make a single, and then put it back into that loop there, pull it through, and now it's a double. Okay, and then just going like into the next one, just yarn over, hang on, those are like into there, so yarn over, go into the next one, and just double crochet. And you're just going to put a double crochet into every single crochet all the way around, nothing fancy, that's all you're going to do. So I will see you once you've done that. So when you get to the corners here, so I know I did 5 single crochets in the previous row for the corner. Because I've dropped a hook size, I'm actually going to do some increases. So look, I've already done a double crochet into this one here. I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to do another double crochet. I haven't got my teeth in today. Another double crochet. So just do 2 increases, so you'll have 7 in the corner. So I'm just going to go around and double crochet into here. I think I'll do my second increase into this stitch here, and it's just because I've dropped a hook size, I feel like I needed a couple of extra stitches in there just to make it like balanced. So yeah, if you are doing exactly as I'm doing, then I would suggest just adding in just 2 extra stitches on your corners, and it'll just keep it nice and round. Because I'm actually gonna try it on and see what it looks like if I've just got a border like that, because it actually looks really nice. It looks quite neat and finished. So I'm just gonna finish this row, and then I'll decide if I want to go and do like front loop, back loop on these like I usually do on my cardis. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. So I'm just gonna finish this up and I'm gonna decide. Okay, I know I have no makeup on, it's the weekend, okay? Anyway, right, I've just done the ribbon. I'm actually going to leave this cardigan like this, okay? So if you want to do like thicker ribbon on yours, if you go and check out my tutorial for this cardigan, I've just dropped its coat hanger. I keep them on coat hangers in my wardrobe. So go and check out the waffle stitch hexagon cardigan if you want to know how to do this. I don't think I dropped a hook size to do this ribbon here, but you could do it would just make it look smaller. So yeah, there's timestamps on this video if you want to add this ribbon to this cardigan, but for me, like, I'm happy with this, so I'm just going to leave it like this. That's quite nice because it is summer and it'll be something that I throw on like a summer's evening. And I've literally got like another, I think I've got like 3.5 balls of this wool left. This has taken 7 balls of wool. It's such a yarn eater. I'll double check that figure though. But yeah, so let me just put this down. I'm hugging it because that one took hours. This one took longer than that one. Okay, this takes ages. Start this in the summer, you'll be done by autumn. But yeah, so I'm happy with this. If I just lower the camera down, so yeah, I just think it's give it like a nice, like, neat little edge. It is going wavy because I do need to, I'm going to steam it. So yeah, right, so now, okay, these I know it's summer and I could like fold them up, decrease them a bit and fold them up and leave it like that, but I think I might put like just a little bit of cuff on these for now. And if you don't want to do your cuffs like I'm going to do on this, you can always, you know, go ahead, watch the waffle stitch one and you'll get your cuffs like this. Okay, so that's like the same as I do here as well. So yeah, if you want that type of cuff, I do have tutorials for that. It's just I'm going to do something a little bit different with the waffle one because I feel like, you know, it's like it's going to be like a springy, summery cardigan for me when I'm doing most of my first wears of it. So yeah, so I mean, it's yours, modify it the way you want. I'm just not in shot at the minute. I've got no makeup on, so just look at the cardigan. So yes, let's move on to, I'm going to show you how you could decrease the sleeves. This would work if you were decreasing them, like not in the round. I'm going to have to do it in the round because I've seamed it up now. But I'm happy with this, so I'm going to get my snippers and I'm going to snip this off, and then I'm going to flip you around and we're going to do this. Right, I'm just going to hold the camera like this while I explain. So I've decreased this sleeve. I'm going to show you what to do with this one. So I've done 5 rows of decreases there, and I'm going to walk you through those in a minute. And then I've done a different rib cuff to the ones that I usually do. So if you've watched my previous videos, or maybe you're watching this like 2 years in the future, I don't know, or even 4 years, oh my god, it's going to be an evergreen video. But yeah, so if you're watching this video after having watched other cardigan videos, I've never done this ribbing before. It's the first time I've done it. However, it's worked out pretty nice. It's like, it's nice and comfy, it's not too tight on my arm, it's got stretch to it, so that's nice. And I'm going to talk you through like the whole process of it, because we need to do this one now. So I'm going to put you into like onto this stand here. There it is, that's my stand. I'm going to put you on my stand, and then I'm going to talk you through this one. So where I'm going to start is I'm just going to grab my hook, and I'm going to go into, I'm like, this is going to be facing you, so right side out. So facing you, go into one of the back posts and just put your hook through like as if you were crocheting through it, and then bring your yarn and pull it through. And this is just how I like to attach it, just for this bit. So I'm just going to make a knot like that, so I know that it's attached. Okay, and then you're going to put your hook back through. I'm going to bash the camera. And then put your hook back through, pull this up and do 1 chain, and then yarn over, go back into the same one, the same back post, and then do a back post double crochet like that. Okay, and then you've started with a back post double crochet, and you're going to start decreasing immediately. So I'm not going to be like stitching 2 together to decrease. I'm literally just going to skip stitches, and that's going to bring it to like this nice little curve that we've got here. So for all the ones that are back post, now be very mindful of your pattern as well. See, look, I'm on my 1 2 3 3 horizontals of the pattern, so I don't need to like change these to front posts at all just yet. I will on the row after this, but not for this one. So here I'm going to go into the second stitch with a back post double crochet like that, make my second one, and then I'm going to go into the third one with a back post double crochet like that. And then I'm just going to ignore this 4th stitch entirely, and I'm just going to go straight into these ones here, and I'm going to do my 4 front post double crochets. So 1 2 3 and 4. And then every time you've got like back posts, just skip one of the stitches, and I find that it looks better if you skip one of the ones like on the sides. So I'm going to do just 3 back post double crochets for the next block of back posts. There's 1 2 and 3, and then I'm just going to skip this 4th one and do my front post double crochets. So just repeat that all the way around the sleeve, and I will meet you back when you get to where we started. If you need to put a stitch marker in that very first stitch, then do so, because I mean, it doesn't look too confusing, but like, you just never know, you could be crocheting in the dark. So whack a stitch marker in the first one if that makes you feel more comfortable, and I'll meet you back round when you get to here. Right, okay, I just finished my last stitch into that front post there, and I'm just going to find the top of that first back post, and I'm just going to slip stitch into it like that. Okay, then what you want to do is chain 1. So once you've chained, you want to yarn over, and then you're going to front post. Make sure you just pick up 1 of the double crochets in the row below. There we go. Hang on, that looks a bit too fat. Let me get it. There it is. Right, so there. It can be a bit tricky, but there you go. So that's the front post there, and then you've got 2 more, because this was now a set of 3, it's reduced down to a set of 4. So just in case I didn't like make it clear, like on the row below when we were just doing the back posts, you had to drop 1 stitch every time you were doing back posts. So you'll still have 4 front posts in the front post ones, but you'll have reduced down to 3. And see how it looks neat? You can't really tell. Like, I realised when I was working up the pattern, sometimes I'd drop a stitch and like it was hardly recognisable, so it makes it like a nice neat finish. So with these ones, these need to be back posts. So you'll just yarn over and you'll back post as normal. 1 2 3 and then you're not going to bother with this guy, you're just going to leave him alone. So then just go straight in and front post the 3 back posts that come next. 1, 2, 3. So you're essentially turning them into like 3 posts now. So when you look here on this finished one, it's like 3 post, 3, 3, 3, and it's like reducing, and then eventually it does go down to 2 on the ones behind there. So we'll get there though, we're not there just yet. So here, now that I've done those front posts, I need to do back posts, so I will just do 3 of these stitches. I'm not going to do all of them. So there's 1, oops, 2 and 3, then ignore the 4th one, and then just work your 3 front posts into the previous back posts, and then just continue with that all the way around, and I will meet you at the beginning. Again, I'll meet you back at the very start of that. There'll be 5 rows in total, so this was the 2nd row, so I'll meet you back for the start of the 3rd row. Right, I'm just getting to the end of that row, and it was a 4th, oops, can't get a hold of this, it was a 4th front post turning into a back post, so I'm just going to skip it, and I'm just going to go straight into the top of the 1st stitch with a slip stitch there. And then you just like continue the pattern, so just chain 1, and then these are front posts now, so I'll just yarn over and I'll front post double crochet into the 1st one. It's been a bit stiff at the minute, there we go. So front post in there. Okay, the next 2 are front posts, so there and there. And then just to continue it decreasing, I'm just going to now decrease these from 3 to 2. So I'll be dropping the last stitch now on each like 3rd one on the back post double crochets. So I'll do this back post, if I can grab it, there we go, 1, and this back post, if I can, what is wrong with my yarn? I think my tension's too tight. This happens when my tension's too tight. There we go, so 2, and then I'm just going to drop that 3rd one, and I'll just go straight into the next front post like that. So 1, 2, so do all the front posts, and then every time you get to the back posts, just drop the back post ones, and then I will meet you back at the start of this row to start the next one. Right, okay, I've just got to the last stitch and I've just slip stitched into the top. So my apologies, I'd said I did 5 extra rows. I've actually done 4 extra rows, and I was looking at this thinking, that doesn't look right. So it's actually 4 extra rows that I've done. If you want to keep like doing this decrease, if you feel like you want like this hole to be smaller before you start to do any kind of ribbon, you can just continue with what I've been doing. So just skip stitches where you feel necessary. It usually looks a bit better when you skip them when they're in the back, but there's nothing stopping you if you literally had got to exactly the same point as this and you thought, I want to decrease a bit more. So you could then just like switch it up and then make these into front posts and then make those into back posts. So it's up to you. You just take the pattern and run with it and do what you feel is best. Like, it's not my patented pattern, it's just like how I've done my cardigan. So yeah, if you wanted to just change it up how you did it, I mean, it is gonna decrease even more when we do this ribbon. So yeah, if you need to go a bit further, go a bit further. If you just wanted to do like 4 and decrease like this, then like by all means, it's up to you. I think once you get to this point in the cardigan, you should be pretty familiar with how the pattern works. So yeah, doing these decreases, especially in the back, will really help you make it like the consistency of the look. Anyway, let's do the ribbon bit now. Right, I'm going to have to apologise because like I honestly thought that I had recorded how to do the actual video on, you know, making the cuff, but it turns out that that footage is just not anywhere on my phone, it's not on my computer. So luckily I have this cardigan lying around in my craft room. This is the one that's like in the background. I will do a tutorial for this, by the way. It's very pridey. Anyway, so I'm going to show you how I did the ribbon for the neon coral cardigan, but like with this one. So what I'm going to do is, this is exactly what I did. I mean, obviously the build up to like this part of the ribbon was different, but it's the same principle for this cardigan. So you can attach your yarn if it's not already attached. I just kind of put a hook through and then I will pull my yarn through. Because like I will be frogging this back off here, I'm not going to tie it too tight, but if this was the other cardigan, I would tie it really tight, okay? So I'm just going to put the end inside. So this is the correct side facing out. And then just put your hook back in And then, so on that cardigan, my chain was a chain of 7 because I wanted it to be 6 stitches deep. However long you want this, you could make a cuff 20, you could make it 40, yeah, you could make it 1,000 and make yourself a pair of weird ribbed leggings, I don't know. But you need to chain one more than the actual like length that you need. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just going to mimic what I did on that other one. Okay, I actually dropped a hook size as well. Okay, so I'm just going to work with this 4mm for the ribbon. I just think that it gives it a bit of a nicer finish if you work in a lower sized hook than the one that you used. So you need to, since I need 6 stitches and I've chained 7, I need to make sure that I go into like the 6th stitch away from the base. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need to go into this stitch with a single crochet like that, and then I just need to single crochet all the way down the chain. So there's 1. It's very fiddly. This will be the fiddliest bit. The more you do on your ribbon, the less fiddly it gets. So there's 2, 3, still fiddly, 4, 5, if it'll go in. I must have pulled that one a bit tight. And then the 6th one here at the bottom. Okay, and then what I did just to further decrease my sleeves, okay, so I have started in this this stitch here. I skipped one and then went into the next one and then slip stitched like that. Okay, and then you need to hold your yarn like you work in yarn a bit to the side, because you need to single crochet in the back loop only of each stitch. So there's 1. It's always a bit fiddly, that first one. Oh, there we go, hang on. Try not to get my finger in the way. There's 1. And then back loop only on the 2nd. I'll go back loop only on the 3rd, wherever it is. 3rd. And on the 4th and 5th, you'll go back loop only. And then to give it a bit of a neater edge, when you get to that 6th one, or the top stitch, you know, if you're doing like 20 or whatever, when you get to the top one, go under both loops from the top one there. So there's me in both loops on that top stitch. Okay, and then you want to chain 1, and then in the back loop only, you want to work your way down. So you can see you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I've got 6 stitches, back loop only of each stitch. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Oop, hang on, I can save it. Nope. Yep, there we go. 5, and then 6th one. Okay, and if you are narrowing your sleeves like I am, there's the last one. Okay, you need to skip the next stitch, slip stitch into that one there. I've done something, I need to just pull this yarn properly through. There we go. Okay, so skip that one, go into this one with a slip stitch. Okay, and then just repeat the same thing. So back loop only up each stitch of your ribbon. There you go. Like I say, it will be fiddly. It is fiddly. It doesn't help that I've got really long nails on. So 1, 2. Nope. What is wrong with me today? I've been up since 6 o'clock. 3, and it's now like 8 p.m. 4. Oops. Okay, 5th one, back loop only. And then under both loops for the 2nd one, like that. Okay, and then you chain 1, and you just keep doing that. So you'll work your way back down, and then when you get to here, you'll skip, then you'll slip stitch into that one, then you go up and down and up and down, and you'll do that for the circumference of the sleeve. Okay, I'm not going to fully do it on this cardigan. I did fully do it on the neon cardigan, which I'm going to cut you back to now to show you how you finish off doing the rib on here. Right, so I'm on the last like bit of the ribbon here. So if I was to go back down and then I tried to like skip and then start another one, I'd end up back there. So these are going to join together. So to do that, I've got my yarn facing the correct way, but I've got my sleeve facing the correct way, but I just want to turn it inside out. So I've got the inside bits facing outwards, and then I'm gonna turn my sleeve inside out so I can do this, because there's no other way I can do it neatly. Right, it's inside out. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna, with my yarn here, I'm just gonna go into the first like loop. I'm gonna keep this working loop on my hook. I'm gonna go into the first stitch of the 6 that are on this one, and then I'm gonna go into the back loop of that one there, and then I'm gonna pull it through like that, and then I'm just going to single crochet, and then I'm going to go into the second chain space and then into the back loop of the second stitch, and I'm going to do a single crochet, and then I'll do the same for the third one. So the third back loop, and then a single crochet, and then the fourth one, where is it? There it is, the fourth back loop, single crochet, fifth one, fifth back loop, single crochet, and then into the 6th chain, and then it's in there, the 6th back loop, and then single crochet, and then pull it a bit tight, chain 1 and pull it, and then you can snip your yarn like that. Okay, and then that's done. So if you turn it that way inside out, let me just turn it the right way back round, give me a second. There we go. I'm just trying to get my ring light. The sun's going down. I don't have that much light now. Okay, so you can, I mean, if you were to like stare at it, then yes, you can see that's where you've joined it. And I know that's where I've joined it because that's where my, I joined my yarn on to do this cuff. But overall, it's a pretty neat cuff. If I put it side by side for the first one I did, zoom out so you can see both cuffs. There we go. Ignore my mess. Okay, so both cuffs, they like have a nice little taper in. That's literally my last end. I need to weave in this cardigan. I'm so proud of myself. So yeah, that's my cuffs. I've just pulled that to stretch it a bit. So anyway, I'm going to be steaming this garment next. So I'm going to talk to you about steaming garments. I'm going to show you what I do to steam them as well, because with this being basket weave, it is going to stretch, and I think stretching it first, like with the steamer, will prevent it like stretching way more as well with wearing it. I'm just removing Sneaky's hair. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. Let me just poke that bit in. Happy with these turned out, and then yeah, I'm happy with this cardigan. So let's do the final try on, and then I'll show you how to steam it, and I'll show you how it looks after it's steamed. Okay, so this is where I normally steam my cardigans, okay? So it's just hanging on the back of my ensuite door. I'll get my steamer. I've just got this Tefal one, just like this basic Tefal one. Can't really see because of the light, but it's a Tefal Access Steam Minute. I don't know, that's what it says. So yeah, I'm gonna just put a little bit of water, because when I store this, I always empty it out before I put it in the drawer or something. So I'm gonna put like a teensy bit of water in, and then I'll show you exactly how to steam this. I'm gonna steam one side, and then I'll show you the difference between the sides once they're steamed. So let me just fill this up. Okay, I've just put a little bit of water in. I think you can use iron water with fragrance, but I just use basic water. A little bit of water, and now I've switched it on. It'll just take a few minutes for it to wake up, essentially. And then I don't know, maybe I'll do this side, and you can watch me do that side, and then I'll show you what happens, because if you look, it's kind of drooping a bit. So before you start, just make sure that it's on your hanger properly and it's not skew-iff. Okay, so let me just wait for this to like go solid, and then we'll do it. Right, okay, it's solid. So I'm just gonna start. You don't want to like hold it in one place in particular, because you don't want to melt it. So like, that's just, are we working? There we go, we're working now. So I'm just going to start with the front, and then I'll move down the sleeve, and then I'll flip it over. So you don't want to like stay in one place. It looks like it's going darker purely because it's getting wet. So once it's a bit wet, you can give it a little bit of a stretch like that, and immediately I can feel the fibres like getting softer, like they're less harsh. Can you see what I mean by it? Hang on, let me hold on. It's getting a bit longer, but it looks straighter. Let me just... You don't need to do loads, and don't pull it really hard either, because if you pull it, then you'll ruin it. So just lightly stretching as you go, because it will be damp. We did sleeve. immediately you can see that it's just a little bit longer now. So just teasing it out. But you don't burn yourself as well. Right, I'm not really going to go over this bit here, like the ribbon, because I don't really need to. But I'm just going to give it a little tug, and then you should see how it's relaxed there. So like I knew that was going to happen. So yeah, I'll do the back all as one, but it's just to show you that once you're steaming it, and it'll probably drop a bit more as well with wear, but this is just so like, you know, it's nice and soft and ready to go. I mean, it's starting to dry already because it's acrylic, so there we go. Right, I'm going to crack on, and I'm going to do the other side, and I'm going to do the back as well. I'll probably speed that bit up for you, but essentially that's all you want to do when you're steaming your cardi. You just do it gently and don't hover it in one place. Okay, once you get it to this point that you're ready for it to, like, you know, just dry. I mean, if you haven't soaked it too much with the steamer, you could probably put it on if you're dying to go out. So I've put it on, excuse the hair, it's the weekend, I don't care. So I've put it on and it's got a little bit longer. It, like, what I find with acrylic, when you steam acrylic, it goes so soft. I'm trying to think of the last thing I steamed. Oh, it was the Granny Heart one, the black and red one. It's on my channel, it's one of the tutorials. When I steamed that was Stylecraft Special DK, and that went so freaking soft. But yeah, this, it's literally like, it's took all the stiffness out of it, and it's just, if I can go over here, it's like, oh, it's nice, it's nice. I'm literally like filming this, and like one of my neighbours across the road, they're lovely by the way, but one of the neighbours was just like looking up like, who's she talking to? But yeah, so I know it's summer now. This is a desk that we need to sell. Anybody wants a desk? It's going on Facebook Marketplace. So like, I know it's summer now when I'm putting this out, but hopefully this will be an evergreen video. And then if you're wanting to get this done in time for autumn, because it's currently May, start now, because they take, it's a yarn needle and it's a big stitch, so it takes ages. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. If you've got questions, then just pop them in the comments down below and I'll try and get to them. Sometimes when there's an overwhelming amount of questions, like there was on the waffle stitch one, I do try and get to them, but sometimes I don't get to all the questions and I apologise. Just keep like get me on Instagram, or like head over to TikTok and drop me a comment on the video that says like this tutorial's now out, and I'll try and get to it. What's the cat doing? Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to send you to the outro. And that's it. You should be able to make one of these beautiful cardigans. So here it is in all of its glory. Look at it at the back. It does go past my bum. I think when I steamed it, it took like an extra, like maybe 2-3 inches down, and the sleeves fit me absolutely perfectly now. So if you are going to make this, like make it, like if you're going to steam it, which I highly recommend, just check your fabrics. Just like maybe do like a little swatch, and then just check that your fabrics are not going to like melt or shrink, or, you know, just do something that you don't want them to do. I would test it. I'm crap, I didn't test it. I just knew that acrylic for me, like with that steamer, doesn't do any of those things. It just goes softer. So always check, because you don't want to waste like 60 hours on a cardigan and then have it melt right in front of your eyes. Anyway, so yes, it fits beautifully, and it's so nice. I'm so glad I went with this collar. But I could always extend it if it gets into like the colder months and I want something a little bit more, you know, comforting. But yeah, so I'm so pleased with it. Look at it, it's so pretty. And I love the colour. Honestly, it's so much brighter in real life than what you can see on there. But anyway, right, so I'm going to wrap this video up. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing, because I do have 2 exciting tutorials coming up. I've made the hexagons for them. Yes, they are hexagon cardigans. I'm in my hexagon cardigan era. So the first one is alpine stitch. I have worked on this. I've got both sides of it ready. I just need to film the joining and like everything else to, like, you know, make it actually into a cardigan. So there will be an alpine stitch tutorial coming from me. This one will come after this one, I had originally planned to pull, like, well, to put up the alpine stitch one, but then I put a snippet of this on TikTok, this beautiful shell stitch with this CCB boutique DK, and people just went wild. It's literally, I've pinned it on my TikTok, so if you're not following me on TikTok or Instagram or anything, like, this is pinned on TikTok, so I'll link them down below as well if you want to follow. Much appreciated. But yes, so that one, and then alpine stitch, that's my next 2 in-depth tutorials. I also have like a spring coat themed cardigan, which again is a hexagon. I know, I'm obsessed, I know. That one is, I've done the pattern, I've actually made the pattern, and that one's going to have like flowers and stuff. So this is like, that's going to be, you know, 3 tutorials time. I've also got a couple of vlogs coming out as well. So there's a Wales vlog, and then because this has been half term off school, I've actually been making this one here, so this gender neutral baby blanket, so that's going to be like in a vlog / tutorial, but because it's granny squares, I've not really gone in depth with it, but I will tell you the method to the madness of making it look cool. So yeah, subscribe. So if you do hit the subscribe button, hit the bell as well, because you will see when these cardigans get uploaded, okay? And I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Bye!